Long before the rise of Rome, before the pyramids pierced the Egyptian sky, before the first cities of humanity were carved from clay and stone, there were stories whispered across the ancient world. Stories older than kings, older than temples, older even than written history itself. In the deserts of southern Iraq, archaeologists have uncovered thousands of clay tablets buried beneath the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia. These tablets, inscribed in wedge-shaped cuneiform script, contain some of the earliest written records humanity has ever produced. They speak of gods who ruled the earth, divine kings who shaped civilization, and a forgotten race known as the Igigi. Most historians treat these texts as mythology, but hidden within their lines is a story so strange, so disruptive to conventional history, that some researchers believe it may have been deliberately misunderstood. According to these ancient writings, long before humans built cities, a group of powerful beings known as the Anunnaki ruled the earth. Beneath them served another class of celestial workers, the Igigi. For thousands of years, these beings performed the labor that shaped the world. Then something happened. Something so dramatic that the ancient scribes described it as a rebellion against the gods themselves. A revolt that nearly destroyed the hierarchy of heaven and earth. A revolt that, according to some interpretations, led to the creation of humanity. But what exactly happened during the Igigi rebellion? Were these simply symbolic myths passed down by early civilizations, or fragments of a forgotten chapter of history? And if the story recorded on these tablets is more than myth, why does it suggest that humanity itself may have been born out of a cosmic uprising? To understand the Igigi rebellion, we must first travel back to one of the cradles of civilization, ancient Mesopotamia. Located between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in modern-day Iraq, this region gave birth to some of the earliest cities in human history. Around 3500 BCE, the Sumerians established urban centers such as Uruk, Eridu, and Lagash. They developed writing, complex religious systems, and advanced forms of government. Within their temples and archives, priests recorded myths that explained the origins of the world and humanity's place within it. Among these stories are texts like the Atrahasis epic, the Enuma Elish, and the Epic of Gilgamesh. These tablets describe a complex pantheon of gods led by the Anunnaki. Beneath them served a secondary group known as the Igigi. According to mainstream historical interpretation, these beings were simply divine figures representing natural forces or cosmic principles. The myths were allegorical attempts by early humans to explain the world around them. In the Atrahasis epic, written around the 18th century BCE, but believed to be based on far older oral traditions, the Igigi are described as laborers tasked with maintaining the universe. They dig canals, they cultivate the land, they perform the endless labor required to sustain the divine order. For thousands of years, these beings toil under the authority of higher deities such as Enlil and Enki. Eventually, however, the burden becomes unbearable. The tablets describe a moment when the Igigi gather in secret. Exhausted and angry, they decide to rebel. They march toward the temple of Enlil, the chief authority among the gods, and surround his dwelling in protest. Faced with a crisis that threatens the stability of heaven and earth, the gods convene a council. It is during this council that a radical decision is made. According to the text, the goddess Nintu proposes a solution: the creation of a new being, one that will take over the labor that the Igigi have driven to rebellion. That being is humanity. Mainstream historians interpret this story as symbolic. The creation of humans represents the development of agricultural societies, where labor and social hierarchy became central aspects of civilization.
In this view, the rebellion of the Igigi is not a literal uprising of celestial beings, but a metaphor reflecting human struggles with labor, authority, and the organization of early societies. Yet the ancient tablets contain details that continued to intrigue researchers. Details that suggest the story may be far more complex than simple mythology.